When I married Lu Xingzhi, I had no idea he already had someone in his heart. Later, I became his principal consort, while the woman he loved entered the household as a secondary wife. He allowed his secondary wife to push me into the water. I ran a high fever that wouldn't break, and my abdominal pain was unbearable. Yet he paid no attention. Only after the maid Lanxiang hit her head outside the secondary wife's quarters did he finally summon the imperial physician to examine me. The imperial physician sighed deeply. The prince's fetus is less than 2 months old. With this prolonged cold, it may not survive. After the miscarriage, I requested a divorce. Lu Xingzhi snapped irritably. Our marriage was decreed by the emperor. Do you want the whole world to laugh at me? So I dressed up in the most flamboyant attire and paraded before his concubine. Her foot tripped lightly, and I tumbled down the stone steps. When I awoke, I was gone. After regaining consciousness, I stared blankly at Lanxiang, grinning foolishly at her. The basin of water she held nearly slipped from her grasp. Panicked, she rushed off to fetch the physician. After taking my pulse, the physician declared, "Your Highness suffered a head injury, likely from a blow. She has lost her mind." Lu Xingzhi's brow furrowed. What? You say my consort has gone mad, Your Highness. It appears she truly has. Lu Xingzhi hurled the teacup on the table. This news must be kept absolutely secret. Yes, yes, yes. The physician bowed low and shuffled nervously out the door. He shot me an impatient glare. I flashed him a grin. Brother. Lu Xingzhi clamped my jaw between his fingers, gritting his teeth. Song whinnying. Don't play dumb with me. That glare made my heart sink. As a child, I'd pulled stunts like this often enough. Once, when accompanying mother to pay respects to the Empress Dowager in the palace, I spotted him sitting in the pavilion from afar. I dashed toward him without a second thought and stumbled, falling flat, his sword-like brows furrowed. Are you all right, Brother Xingzhi? Whinnying can't see anymore. Just give me a kiss, and it'll be fine. He glanced up at the palace attendants nearby, who discreetly turned away. Lu Xingzhi, his ears flushed, gave my cheek a light peck. I scrambled up, overjoyed. Whinnying's better. Xingzhi brother knows magic. Back then, everyone in the palace believed we were a couple, but youthful affection is thinner than paper. I vaguely recall the miscarriage, me belly twisted in agony like a knife, yet he never came to see me. He merely tossed a remark to Lanxiang. She's old enough to know better. Pregnant and still clueless. Utterly foolish. As he said, I truly was foolish. Lu Xingzhi summoned my mother. I thought I'd deceived him that mother had come to take me home. But her first words to me were, Whinnying, now that your younger brother has entered officialdom, the Song family remains rooted in civil service. We must rely heavily on your husband. You must win his heart. My nose stung, and I couldn't utter a word. Out of the corner of my eye, I saw Lu Xingzhi's gaze fixed on me. He was testing me. He never truly believed I had gone mad. If I truly had lost my mind, it would have been a release for me. It all began at the 100 Flowers banquet, when I shielded the Empress from an assassin's blade. After my recovery, the Emperor announced a royal match and asked if I had any suitors in mind. Without hesitation, I named Lu Xingzhi. Because of those words, I went from being the eldest daughter of the Grand Tutor to the Princess Consort of Qin. At the time, I didn't know he already had someone in his heart. Not until our wedding night, when he tore my clothes to shreds. Song Whinnying, I underestimated you before, using this trick to force me into submission for power and privilege. They'll grant your wish. The stinging pain spread, and I couldn't help but cry out. Didn't you love me most of all? Why are you crying? Before the wedding, the matron had told me the first time would be uncomfortable, but joy would follow. Yet why did I feel no joy at all? When the motion ceased, Lu Xingzhi dressed himself. I called softly, Husband. He curved his lips with devilish charm. I've given you what you wanted. I hope you won't use your position as principal consort to make things difficult for Yu Yan. Only then did I learn that his beloved, Li Yu Yan, had entered the estate the same day as Methrough the side gate. Silently and unnoticed, on our wedding night, my husband did not spend the night in my chambers. What a profound humiliation. From that day on, the Qin prince's mansion became a cage imprisoning me. Initially, I felt guilty toward Li Yuyan. After all, they were the truly meant for each other pair. Having usurped her position as principal consort, I handed over the household management to her. The servants in the mansion, ever opportunistic, turned cold toward me with their words. Why bother with a princess consort who holds no real power? The kitchen maid who delivered my meals each day always sent me leftovers from the previous night. Lan Xiang wiped away tears as she gathered firewood for the kitchen stove. Miss, back home, we never endured such humiliation. I took some of the wood from her hands and comforted her. It's fine. We just need to live our own lives well and ignore the outsiders. In the depths of winter, Lan Xiang and I carried water and washed clothes together, our hands covered in frostbite. Lan Xiang finally managed to get some sheep fat ointment from the housekeeper. When Li Yuyan's personal maid, Lian saw it, she falsely accused Lan Xiang of stealing it. This sheep fat ointment was given to me by the young mistress. How did it end up in your room? Lian demanded haughtily. Lan Xiang replied, I requested it from Qin ma'am. Oh, was it signed and sealed when issued? Li Yuyan calmly approached me. Lan Xiang answered without hesitation. Of course it was. Have Qin ma'am bring the ledger. Qin ma'am presented the ledger. Coincidentally, the page bearing Ling Xiang's signature had been torn out. Madam Qin, as a long-serving member of this household, what punishment does theft warrant within these walls? Reporting to the consort. 20 strokes of the cane. Li Yuyan signaled to the servants behind her, who moved to seize Lan Xiang. I intervened. No, Lan Xiang is my personal attendant. Any punishment must come from me, sister. Precisely because Lan Xiang is your personal maid, I should administer the punishment. If you shield her, it would be unjust. How could you command respect or manage your servants? Her eyes flashed. The servants lifted Lan Xiang and bound her to a bench. I reached out to stop them. My frostbitten hands split open. Blood gushed forth, staining the ropes binding Lan Xiang. This case is riddled with holes. Why was it specifically the page Lan Xiang signed that was torn? Could it be someone framed her? I fixed my gaze on Nanny Chen. Lan Xiang said you personally gave it to her. Have you forgotten so quickly? Nanny Chen lowered her eyelids, unable to meet my gaze. Sister, I waved her off. The prince has always treated his servants kindly. Why resort to harsh interrogation? Li Yuyan's eyes darkened. The cane she held high paused midair. The servants waited for her command. What is this? So many people. Lu Xingzhi strode in. Since our marriage, this was only his second time setting foot in my courtyard. He glanced at my hand and paused. Lianer hurriedly knelt before him. Your Highness. Lan Xiang stole the sheep's fat cream. The young mistress was punishing her. But the princess, a mere bit of sheep's fat cream. My mansion isn't so impoverished it can't afford it. Yu Yan. Go prepare yourself. You'll accompany me to the palace for the Empress' birthday banquet. Li Yuyan nodded and departed with the servants. Lu Xingzhi's gaze swept over my face as he asked coldly, what happened to your hands? Your Highness. I am the only servant in the young mistress' courtyard, overwhelmed by chores. The young mistress helped me with laundry and developed frostbite. It's both itchy and painful, he replied impatiently. Enough. Have Grandma Chen assign a few more people tomorrow. Watching his receding figure, a dull ache welled in my heart. Hadn't he tacitly approved all this? Lan Xiang wept. Miss, how can you be a princess? You live worse than a servant. I offered a faint smile and wiped her tears. Don't cry, Lan Xiang. Things will get better. I had thought that by restraining myself, observing propriety, and staying within my bounds, I could live peacefully in the prince's mansion. But then, people from Inha Money House came to the mansion gate, wailing and lamenting. They claimed I had instructed them to charge usurious interest rates, and during a debt collection, a life was lost. The deceased family carried the body and knelt outside the gate alongside them. The woman wailed uncontrollably, under the emperor's very nose. In the home of a noble family, such an unscrupulous act of murder for profit has been committed. A crowd of onlookers gathered, pointing fingers and whispering rumors. As the mistress of the house, Liu Yan should have stepped forward to resolve this matter. Yet 2 hours passed without a trace of her. I asked Nanny Chen, "Where is the consort?" "Her maternal aunt passed away last night. She has returned to her family home." This matter should not be escalated, especially with Lu Xingzhi still in the palace. I could only usher the individuals connected to the incident into the mansion, and the crowd gradually dispersed. Entering the hall, I did not reveal my identity, only asking, "You claim the princess consort ordered you to charge usury. Do you have proof?" The money house manager produced a contract. "This bears the royal seal. It cannot be forged." I examined it and confirmed its authenticity. The seal had always been kept by Liu Yan. Now that trouble had arisen, she had vanished. The answer seemed obvious. How did he die? We sent men to collect the debt. Wang Er fled upon seeing us and accidentally fell off a cliff. "This is his wife." He pointed to the woman beside him, her face streaked with tears. Was the debt collection also ordered by the princess? The manager's face drained of color. I pressed on. "You claimed it was an accident. So why did you bring people to the prince's mansion to cause trouble?" The woman held back her tears. "If the princess hadn't pressed so urgently, why would my husband have been so terrified he ran away from everyone? The princess must take responsibility for this. Have you even met her? You can't hold her accountable without proof." "Of course I've met her. I never forget a face." A fierce glint flashed in the woman's eyes. I gave a cold smile and exchanged a glance with Lan Xiang. She spoke up. "Since you've met the princess, why haven't you knelt before her?" Everyone froze, then knelt in unison. "Money house manager, your humble servant, failed to recognize the great before me," the woman muttered. "Who knows if it's real or not? My marriage to the prince was decreed by the emperor himself. How could it be false? But you claim to have seen me, yet you fail to recognize me." The woman stood up. "You, a noble princess consort, drove my husband to his death with usurious interest and relentless debt collection. Don't think you can escape this." With that, she plopped down on the ground and began throwing a tantrum. Watching this gave me a headache. Regardless of whether this was true or false, it needed to be resolved quickly. The seal of the prince's residence went missing a few days ago. Someone must have stolen it to commit fraud. But seeing you, a woman, I feel pity. I turned my face toward the money house manager. "They'll cover whatever her husband owed you. Chen, go to the accounts room and withdraw 200 taels to give to this lady." Chen looked hesitant. "Your Highness, the stewards of fairs have always been." I snapped sharply. "What are you waiting for? Do you want this escalated to the emperor?" "Yes." "Your Highness, it'll go immediately." The woman stopped crying upon hearing my words, muttering to herself, "That's more like it." As they turned to leave with the money, I instructed, "You caused quite a scene outside the mansion earlier. Word has surely spread. You know how to handle what people say outside." The manager bowed slightly. "I understand, Your Highness. The loss of the mansion's seal has nothing to do with you." My husband slipped and fell. "It has nothing to do with the princess. Today was the first time I've ever seen her. Only after the mansion gates closed completely did I exhale a long breath." Turning around, I saw Lu Xingzhi standing not far away. His gaze wasn't as cold as usual. There was a hint of approval. That night, Lu Xingzhi stayed in my room. Unlike our first time, this night he showered me with endless tenderness. It gave me the illusion that things would only get better. Early the next morning, I personally attended to Lu Xingzhi's ablutions, helping him fasten his sash. His hands, with their distinct knuckles, held mine as his deep voice murmured, Wen Ying. In that moment, I thought my brother Xingzhi had returned, but soon, Li Yuyan's sobs drifted in, brutally snapping me back to reality. Dressed in plain white robes, she knelt outside the door, her eyes brimming as she looked at Lu Xingzhi. Your Highness, it is my fault. My younger brother gambled recklessly and incurred debts. With no other choice, I used the household silver to pay off his gambling debts. I never imagined they would end up killing someone. She bit her delicate lip. Her wet eyes slightly reddened, her look of grievance both innocent and seductive. Seeing Lu Xingzhi's silence, she shifted her knees and kowtowed to me. Please forgive me, sister. A drop of blood seeped from her snow-white forehead, a sight that stirred pity in me. Li Yuyan was clever. She knew this matter was hard to deny, so she played the victim to seek mercy. Lu Xingzhi sighed, stepping forward to help her up. If you needed money so urgently, why didn't you tell me? This humble servant did not wish to trouble your highness with matters concerning my natal family. She stopped crying and slowly lifted her eyes, her reddened sockets making her look pitifully beautiful. Lu Xingzhi gently stroked her forehead. You've drawn blood. Look at the dark circles under your eyes. You must have stayed up all night keeping vigil for your aunt. Go back to your room and rest. He wrapped his arm around Li Yuyan and began walking out. Just as they reached the courtyard gate, he turned to leave, but Li Yuyan tugged at his sleeve. Your Highness, I wish you'd stay with me. Lu Xingzhi glanced back at me, paused briefly, then said, Very well. As they stepped out, Lanxiang entered carrying breakfast. Miss, won't your Highness dine here? The kitchen prepared many dishes especially. No need, Lanxiang. Sit and eat with me. I picked up a slice of pickled cucumber and swallowed it with plain congee. This cucumber tastes a bit bitter. Lanxiang looked at me with a pout. Perhaps it's because your heart is bitter, miss. After that, Lu Xingzhi often stayed in Li Yuyan's chambers, occasionally dropping by mine for a visit. The servants in the mansion were adept at reading the atmosphere and began treating me with greater deference. Had Li Yuyan not insisted on holding a birthday banquet, I might have naively believed I could live out my days in peace. Lu Xingzhi invited numerous noble families, claiming to make up for Li Yuyan's lack of a wedding banquet. This was undoubtedly a blatant slap in my face. But Li Yuyan came from a merchant family, and many noble ladies looked down on her. Plus, I was the emperor's chosen bride and the empress savior. Very few guests attended the banquet. One steward after another arrived, leaving congratulatory gifts and apologizing that their masters were occupied and couldn't attend. Lu Xingzhi's face turned green with rage. Li Yuyan plucked a grape and fed it to him. Your Highness, don't be angry. Let me dance for you. Lu Xingzhi wrapped his arm around her slender waist. Today is your birthday. How could the birthday girl perform? The scene was unbearably jarring, making my breath catch. I lowered my head to sip tea, only to feel a wave of nausea wash over me. Lu Xingzhi's cold voice drifted to my ear. Princess consort, you studied dance under renowned masters since childhood. Perhaps you should perform instead. Li Yuyan gazed at me with eyes sparkling with amusement, her expression veiled with smugness and contempt. I gently stroked my abdomen. Your Highness, I feel somewhat unwell today. I'm afraid I cannot. Perhaps I could dance with sister instead. Before I could respond, Li Yuyan rose, stepped beside me, and extended her hand. Princess consort, what is it? Are you unwilling? Lu Xingzhi asked, his tone displeased. I raised my hand and stepped onto the lakeside stage. As the music began, I carefully avoided Li Yuyan's movements. Unexpectedly, she gave my arm a sharp tug, sending me tumbling into the lake. A chill swept over me from all directions. As I neared suffocation, someone pulled me out. I heard Lanxiang's voice. Miss, please don't fall asleep. Before I lost consciousness, I heard Li Yuyan's shriek. Your Highness, I've sprained my ankle. Everyone rushed toward her, leaving only Lan Xiang to cradle my soaking body. When I awoke, my abdomen felt like it was being torn apart. Lang Xiang's forehead was bandaged, blood still seeping faintly through the gauze. Outside, I heard Lu Xingzhi and the imperial physician discussing. The consort's fetus is less than 2 months old, with the lingering cold and wind ailment. It's unlikely to survive. Foolish woman. She didn't even know she was pregnant. Your Highness, please calm your anger. I administered an abortion potion to the consort to facilitate the expulsion of the dead fetus. This will allow her to conceive again in the future. He gave a faint My hand twitched slightly. Lan Xiang lifted her head, her eyes bloodshot. Miss, you've finally woken. You've been unconscious for 3 days and nights. The secondary consort monopolized the estate physician, refusing to let him leave. I pleaded for so long before His Highness finally summoned the imperial physician. My belly. The imperial physician said the fetus couldn't be saved. She began to sob. Tears welled in my eyes as my fingernails dug into my palms. Someone called for Lan Xiang. She opened the door and took a bowl of medicine. Miss, the imperial physician said drinking this bowl will help you. Her voice trailed off. I took a deep breath and downed it in one gulp. Soon, stabbing pains swept over me like a raging storm, each wave more intense than the last. Torture. Suffocation. I felt as if I'd fallen into an endless darkness. The agony unbearable. Sweat soaked the quilt. Lan Xiang carried out basin after basin of blood. Outside the door, Li Yuyan said coldly, "What a sin." Yes. I had usurped her position as the legitimate wife. She had killed my child. Both were sins. My strength returned somewhat. Lu Xingzhi came to see me. You look well, he remarked. I curved my lips into a smile. I am. I produced the divorce papers and held them before him. Lu Xingzhi, let us cease this mutual torment. Let us part ways. I imagined Li Yuyan eavesdropping outside the door, laughing maniacally in secret delight. Lu Xingzhi slammed his fist on the table, making my heart lurch. His eyes flashed with impatience. Our marriage was decreed by the emperor. Do you want the whole world to laugh at me? He leaned closer, his deep eyes devouring me. Don't be ridiculous. That day was Yuyan's mistake. You two should get along better from now on. I snorted coldly. At this point, how could we possibly get along? Since divorce was impossible, I had to think of another way. Ideally, I could kill 2 birds with 1 stone, punish Li Yuyan and leave the Qin prince's mansion. Another year. Another 100 flowers banquet. The empress specially sent me an invitation, ordering me to attend without fail, at past palace banquets. Lu Xingzhi always brought Li Yuyan along. The empress must have been quite displeased with this. I had Lan Xiang secretly scout out what Li Yuyan would wear to the 100 flowers banquet and had an identical outfit made. Before leaving the mansion, Li Yuyan saw my attire and her eyes turned green with envy. Leander sneered. Your outfit, princess, is rather inappropriate. Lan Xiang shot back. The one who's inappropriate is the consort. She should be the one changing her clothes. Lan Xiang, don't be insolent. It's getting late. Don't keep the empress waiting. Li Yuyan quietly extended her foot. I stomped down hard on it, losing my balance. I tumbled down the stone steps. When I awoke again, I was stunned. I never imagined that the cold and ruthless Lu Xingzhi would tolerate a wife who had gone mad. Lu Xingzhi ordered the entire household to keep this incident strictly confidential. Yet the empress still found out. She summoned Li Yuyan to the palace and forced her to kneel outside the palace gates for a full day and night. When Li Yuyan was carried back, her knees were festering beyond recognition. The imperial physician shook his head repeatedly after examining her. The consort will likely never walk again. I was sitting on a stone bench outside the courtyard, folding handkerchiefs. When I heard this, a faint smile touched my lips. To exact revenge on someone, You must destroy what matters most to them. Back then, Li Yuyan had bribed a matron from the Imperial Music Bureau to infiltrate the dancers and perform before the emperor. Lu Xingzhi had fallen for her at first sight. Now that her legs were ruined, I wanted to see what other wiles she could muster to ensnare Lu Xingzhi's heart. I've glimpsed her fate. I refuse to waste the rest of my life here. After Li Yuyan fell from favor, Lu Xingzhi visited me daily, recounting countless childhood memories. One day after court, he returned with a bamboo grasshopper head woven for me. He was testing me again. This was a toy we often played with as children. I took it, held it to the candle flame, and burned it. Lu Xingzhi stared in shock, whinnying. Why? I dislike grasshoppers. They have wings but can't soar high. I pointed to the eagle soaring outside the window. I admire it free, fierce, unbound. His gaze grew distant, a faint smile playing on his lips. Whinnying. You've been pretending all along. I was tired of pretending. Meeting his gaze, I said, yes, I was playing dumb. I thought you'd divorce me. Now it seems you have no such intention. Lu Xingzhi closed the book in his hand and slammed it onto the table. You schemed your way into this marriage, and now you're plotting your escape. I didn't scheme. I blurted out your name because I've admired you since childhood. He froze, then smiled in an instant. Isn't it perfect now? Lu Xingzhi, for the first time. I called him by his full name. I see through your cold-heartedness and fickleness. You don't love me. You turned a blind eye to Li Yuyan's actions. I accept that. But you don't love Li Yuyan either. She's merely a pawn you used to restrain me. My mother is the Empress Dowager's cousin. You, not born of the Empress Dowager, yet wield military power. You fear her suspicion, dread the Emperor's doubts, and worry I'm a spy sent by them. I fought back tears, but my voice trembled uncontrollably. Lu Xingzhi's mouth twitched. How did you find out? I met his calm, composed gaze with a faint smile. Li Yuyan knelt outside the palace gates for a day and night. You never once stepped forward to help her. Is that what you call love? Didn't that just fulfill your wish? The entire household kept silent. How did it reach the Empress' ears? Song whinnying. I thought once you'd vented your anger, you'd stay and fulfill your duty as the princess consort of Qin. A lump formed in my throat, the pain in my heart piercing my lungs. Yes. I arranged for someone to inform the Empress. A pair of legs alone cannot compensate for the loss of my child. A fist slammed into the wall beside my face. Blood trickling down. Lu Xingzhi's eyes blazed with fury. Fine. I'll divorce her this very moment. I slammed the courtyard gate shut. Yet the woman's wails still pierced through. Li Yuyan had been thrown out of the estate by Lu Xingzhi. Crawling at the gate, she begged for forgiveness. When mercy was denied, she tore off her facade, spewing curses. Faintly, I heard my own name. Lu Xingzhi quickly silenced her, ordering men to find a plot on the back mountain for a hasty burial. Hearing this, the hatred choking my chest eased just a little. I instructed Lan Xiang to pack our valuables. She looked puzzled. Miss, can we really leave the estate safely? We can. Well, depart at first light. But the mistress and master, they're not returning to the Song residence. They're going to the palace. Lan Xiang paused, her hands still folding clothes. The palace. With a loud slam, the door burst open. Lu Xingzhi, reeking of alcohol, stormed in, pointing at Lan Xiang. He barked, "Get out. I have something to say to the princess." Lan Xiang glanced at me hesitantly. I said, "Go." Some things needed to be made clear. Lu Xingzhi glanced at the half-packed belongings on the bed and sneered coldly, still not satisfied. I won't live with someone who doesn't love me. In the flickering candlelight, his gaze grew more vicious as his large hand clamped down on my jaw. What if I said I love you? My heart skipped a beat, and I froze, halting my retreat. For a moment, I almost believed him, only to find it laughable the next. Song whinnying. I loved you as a child, innocent and carefree. I still love you now, clever and composed. I feared my mother, feared your family's influence. I tried to restrain myself, to redirect my affection toward another woman who posed no threat to me. But I've realized I can't do it. You know what? When Li Yuyan dances, she reminds me most of you. His eyes were as still as a lake. I blinked, clearing the mist from my vision. The anger I'd been holding in for so long burst out. What you love is a woman's dependence and flattery. I turned to pack my belongings, but he caught my hands midair. With a slight tug, I fell into his embrace. Stay. I'll prove it to you. I broke free. You indirectly killed our child. Staying will only make me hate you more. He tightened his hold. Well, have another child. Yes. I will have children again, but not with you. I kicked him hard in the knee, stumbling backward until I sat on the bedside. Lu Xingzhi cried out in pain, lifting his head with a sneer. Song Weiying, your brother serves as a general under me. You don't want anything to happen to him, do you? My throat tightened. His voice grew deeper. In war, blades have no eyes. If I will him to live, he lives. If I will him to die, you're shameless. I stood up and raised my hand, slapping him hard. A red handprint landed on his cold, stern face. Once you're mine, Lu Xingzhi's woman. No other man shall lay a finger on you. He swept his sleeves and left. That night stretched long and silent. At dawn, the imperial edict summoning me to the palace arrived. Lu Xingzhi watched me climb into the carriage. His face pale, he clenched his fists, powerless. To escape one man, one must cling to another of higher standing. To the outside world, the empress declared I had come to see her but had fallen ill and must remain in the palace to recuperate. Lu Xingzhi sought audience outside Fengming Palace several times, only to be turned away each time by the empress attendants. Undeterred, he pressed onward. The head matron said, Your Highness, this is the inner palace. It is not proper for men to linger here. I settled comfortably in the empress palace, but as time passed, it inevitably drew gossip. One day, Mother came to the palace to visit the Empress Dowager, who summoned both the Empress and me. As I entered the main hall, I noticed Lu Xingzhi and Prince Qi were also present. The Empress Dowager beckoned me with a wave, motioning for me to sit before her. Mother, next month is your birthday. Is there anything you desire? This old woman has grown weary. My sole wish is to see my children and grandchildren gathered around me. Empress, you and the Emperor have been married 7 years. Yet you have only the Crown Prince as your legitimate heir. You must try harder. Your humble daughter understands. The Empress Dowager then turned to me. Weiying, you too. I regard Xingzhi as my own son. You have been married a year, yet your womb shows no sign of life. I understood the Empress Dowager's subtle warning. Living in the Queen's palace made it inconvenient for the Emperor to visit her. She was urging me to return to my own residence. Lu Xingzhi rose and bowed. Mother, it is all my fault. I angered Weiying. I came today to beg her forgiveness. If she will pardon me, I am willing to do anything. His deep, piercing eyes gazed at me with such feigned tenderness, a look that might deceive anyone but me. The Empress Dowager's face lit up with a smile. I hear you've already sent away that disreputable concubine. Yes, Mother. Then Wanning shall accompany you back to the mansion today. Until she conceives, you are forbidden to take any more concubines. Your humble son obeys. My heart instantly turned to chaos, and I was about to refuse. The Empress Dowager then turned to Prince Qi. Lu Xingzhi, Xianer, you are my youngest son. It has been nearly half a year since your consort passed away. Have you found any woman who catches your eye, whether it was a mistake or not? Lu Xingzhi glanced at me. Mother, there is someone, but she, regardless of her family background, as long as she is of pure lineage, bring her before me for inspection. Yes, Mother. I was forced into the carriage of the Prince of Qin's residence, keeping my head turned toward the window as torrential rain poured down from the sky. Lu Xingzhi stared at me silently the entire time. How could I possibly escape this situation? Suddenly, a carriage darted out beside us. I recognized it as belonging to the Prince of Qin's residence. I spun and leaped out, my clothes instantly soaked. Ignoring the pain in my leg, I blocked the carriage's path. Lu Xingzhi, save me. He lifted the curtain, just as Lu Xingzhi was about to grab me. He pulled me into the carriage and sped away. Lu Xingzhi pursued relentlessly. Lu Xingzhi unfastened his cloak and draped it over me. Only now do you remember me. I'm sorry. His gaze darkened. Sit tight. He ordered the driver outside. Faster. Finally shaking off Lu Xingzhi. I breathed a sigh of relief. At the gate of the Prince of Qin's mansion, as I stepped down from the carriage, a straight, upright figure made my heart clench. Lu Xingzhi, I never knew you had the guts to snatch my sister-in-law. Lu Xingzhi smiled faintly. In my eyes. She isn't my sister-in-law. She is Song Weiying. If there's anything she doesn't want to do, I won't force her. You third brother. Your favoritism toward your concubine and neglect of your wife are common knowledge. You've brought shame upon the imperial family. In my opinion, you should divorce her promptly and spare Wanning any further suffering. Lu Xingzhi's face darkened as he reached out to pull me toward him. I instinctively ducked behind Lu Xingzhi. Wanning, come back with me. Was it my imagination? His eyes seemed to well up with tears. I took another step back. If you want me to go back with you, bring a coffin to carry me. He paused, his hand dropping limply. What must I do to earn your forgiveness? You need do nothing. That is the best thing for me. Lu Xingzhi remained silent for a long time before speaking stiffly. Is it not enough that I love you? Your so-called love is condescending charity, a calculated trade-off. Because of your cold indifference, I even lost our child. If you're willing to come back, we can have children again. Tears welled in my eyes. Spilled water can't be retrieved, you understand that. Prince Qin, you shattered my love for you piece by piece. Now what gives you the right to demand I accept your repentance? Tears wet my cheeks, my heart aching unbearably, nearly collapsing to the ground. Lu Xingzhi reached out to support me, but Lu Xingzhi stopped him. Third brother, restrain yourself. He paused, his gaze turning cold. Since you cannot forgive me now, let our relationship return to its starting point. Weiying, I will make you fall in love with me again. He left me with a stubborn back view. Lu Xingzhi escorted me back to the Song residence. My parents sighed deeply. Mother's words were filled with worry for my younger brother. I couldn't help but speak up. Rest assured, Lu Xingzhi won't cause him trouble. After all, my father was his mentor. Lu Xingzhi vanished without a trace, but Lu Xingzhi began visiting the Song residence frequently under the pretense of seeing his teacher. I sensed something different in the way he looked at me. As a child, Lu Xingzhi was a chubby little boy, always slower than everyone else at everything. Lu Xingzhi would drag me running ahead while Lu Xingzhi chased breathlessly behind. My heart ached for him. I'd let go of Lu Xingzhi's hand, slow my pace, and take his. Walking with him at a leisurely trot. The year I married, he wed a princess from a neighboring kingdom. For reasons unknown, the princess fell gravely ill and passed away, leaving him a young widower. What are you thinking about? Lu Xingzhi waved his hand in front of my face. I pointed at the pond before us and laughed. I was thinking about when you were little and accidentally fell into the pond, looking like a drenched pig. Have you been thinking about me a lot lately? His gaze was deeply enigmatic. My face flushed instantly. Not at all. A rough touch brushed my hand. He tested cautiously, and when I offered no resistance, he took my hand. His voice was restrained yet tender. Song Weiying, don't just stare at Lu Xingzhi. Can you look at me too? My heart began to race uncontrollably. I never imagined he harbored such feelings for me. Are all men this heartless? What? His brows furrowed. How long has it been since your wife passed? Lu Xingzhi's tense face broke into a smile. Are you free this afternoon? I'd like to take you somewhere. Not yet. The Prince of Qin's men will deliver a letter shortly. What letter? You're still exchanging letters with him. His tone dripped with jealousy. It's the divorce papers. His expression visibly relaxed. Then I'll come back for you later. I climbed into Lu Xingzhi's carriage and we left the city. Where are you taking me? I asked. You'll see when we get there. We arrived at a village where a peasant woman and her husband were chatting and laughing. Their laughter was so clear and bright it made me smile too. The woman looked up. And I froze. Wasn't that Lu Xingzhi's deceased wife? She had a beloved before marrying me. To preserve diplomatic relations between our nations, we consented to this union. After the wedding, we arranged for her to fake her death. Now she lives here with her true love, free as a cloud or a crane. Little fatty. I never imagined you'd be so magnanimous, understanding enough to help others find happiness. He seized my hand, his eyes brimming with unhidden affection. Because my heart was already taken, I tried to pull my hand away, but he held it tight. Why didn't you tell me before? You were blinded by Lu Xingzhi. How could I speak? Let me think it over. I always had a premonition that Lu Xingzhi wouldn't give up easily. I saw Lu Xingzhi again at the Empress Dowager's birthday banquet. I've never liked crowded places. So I sat in the pavilion watching the fish. A figure approached. Lu Xingzhi stood not far from me, dark circles under his eyes, looking as though he hadn't slept in ages. I gave him a faint smile. He spoke calmly. How have you been lately? Very well. And you? He curved his lips slightly. Same as always. I hear the frontier is unsettled. Yes. After the Empress Dowager's birthday, I must march. He stepped closer, grasping my wrist. Whinnying. Wait for me to return. I pulled my hand away. Your Highness, the Prince of Qin. All the people of the realm will await your triumphant return. A flicker of loneliness passed through his eyes as he drew a jade bracelet, translucent and emerald green, from his sleeve. This was my mother's keepsake. Keep it safe for me. I'll retrieve it when I return. I pushed him away. But he pulled back, and the bracelet slid onto my wrist. Your Highness, whinnying. If you want me to fight this war with peace of mind, take it. He swallowed hard. Rest assured. I'll look after your brother. My strength drained away. Across the river, Lu Xingzhi stood. His eyes fierce enough to devour a person. Why take his bracelet? His grip on my wrist was painfully tight. He's fighting for the nation. I merely. Before I could finish, a scorching kiss descended. I turned my head to evade it. Lu Xingzhi's hand clamped down on the back of my head, pressing the kiss deeper. My body trembled uncontrollably, weakening. In the midst of this dizzying passion, he seized my jade-adorned wrist and slammed it against a nearby pillar. The jade shattered into pieces across the floor. What are you doing? This was his mother's heirloom. I pushed him away. Lu Xingzhi snorted coldly and turned to leave. I gathered the shards, a vague unease settling in my heart. For as long as Lu Xingzhi had been away at war, my mother had knelt in the Buddhist hall, praying daily for her son's safe return. Before nightfall, she pulled me into the hall to burn incense together. As the sky was about to darken, sudden flashes of fire erupted. A servant scrambled in, stumbling and crawling. Master, mistress, young miss, it's terrible. The Prince of Qin. The Prince of Qin has raised his troops in rebellion. What of the young master? Any word of him? None. Mother collapsed to the floor like a heap of mud. I ordered the servants. Find several strong men immediately. Secure every gate of the estate. Yes, sir. Bad news, miss. After breaching the city walls, the Prince of Qin isn't heading to the palace, he's coming straight for the Song residence. We rushed to the gate. The Prince of Qin sat atop a mighty steed, clad in silver armor, whinnying. Come with me. What do you intend? I want you to be my empress. Lu Xingzhi. You can still turn back now. He gave a wicked smile and signaled to someone beside him. Men emerged, dragging my younger brother. My son. Mother wept uncontrollably. Song whinnying. If you want your brother to live, come up. Xingzhi. Heed your master's counsel. What you're doing is treasonous. Lu Xingzhi sneered coldly. Treasonous. The Empress Dowager murdered my mother, the Empress, and forged the late Emperor's will. That is treasonous. Soldiers surrounded the Song residence, sealing it off completely. A blade pressed against my father's neck. I'll go with you. I reached out, and he pulled me onto his horse. Every soldier within the palace walls was his man. Chaos reigned within the palace halls. The Emperor, Empress, and Empress Dowager were bound and gagged. Kneeling in the hall of diligent governance, rebellious son, mother, despite all your scheming, the empire has ultimately fallen to me. The emperor roared in fury. You colluded with foreign powers to betray the nation. There was no genuine conflict. You conspired with neighboring rulers to send troops, fabricating an opportunity for rebellion. Brother, it's too late for such talk. Everyone was your pawn, including me. My entire body trembled. His scheming ran so deep, whinnying. I'm sorry. I never meant to drag you into this. But by marrying me, you were destined to be part of the game. Still, once they're all dead, nothing will bind us. We can be a loving couple. A chill ran down my spine as a familiar voice echoed from beyond the palace doors. Who needs to be a loving couple with you? Lu Xingzhi burst in, longbow in hand, followed by thousands of elite soldiers. His low, menacing tone carried a palpable threat. Release them, and I'll spare your body intact. I tried to flee, but my body was pinned against Lu Xingzhi's chest. He pressed the dagger against my throat, taunting. Go ahead. Draw your bow. Lu Xingzhi, you claim to love Wanning. Yet all you do is hurt her. The emperor has already laid a trap. Your men have surrendered. Surrender peacefully and release Wanning. You plotted against me. Lu Xingzhi's body visibly stiffened. The dagger sank another inch deeper, warm blood trickling down my neck. Stop. Lu Xingzhi replied coldly. Mother Empress said I am the crown prince father emperor truly favors. The Empress Dowager trembled. Nonsense. She was mad with ambition, craving to rule the harem. She took her own life. For your future. I announced she died of illness. I never imagined you'd misunderstand. Xingzhi. I've treated you well. Cut your losses now. I'll spare your life. Release Wanning, or I shoot. Lu Xingzhi raised his dagger. In an instant, the arrowhead pierced his right shoulder, lying in a pool of blood. His last breath escaped as his finger pointed at my wrist, his lips murmuring, whinnying. Forgive me. I shot him a cold glance before throwing myself into Lu Xingzhi's embrace. After settling everything, I stayed in a side chamber of the Empress quarters. Lu Xingzhi came to check my injuries, gently embracing me. I'm sorry. Did you know all along that Lu Xingzhi harbored treasonous intentions? Did you deliberately lure him into deploying his troops, then trap him like a fish in a barrel? Lu Xingzhi smiled tenderly. My whinnying is so wise. No less than any man, my parents, and my younger brother. Rest assured, they are all well. He drew me closer, sighing softly. Once this matter is fully resolved, I will petition my imperial brother for our marriage. Pushing him away, I said sternly. Lu Xingzhi. I am not a pure woman. I have had an abortion. He covered my mouth. No matter what you've endured, in my heart, you are only Wanning. My eyes flickered. Moments later, he lifted me in his arms. His scorching breath washed over me as his nose brushed my ear. Whinnying. I've loved you since childhood. He kissed my brow. tucked the quilt around me, and closed the door. I tossed and turned all night. At dawn, the Empress Dowager summoned me, whinnying. Your close ties with the Prince of Qin may implicate you. To spare you, I've arranged for you to enter Baohua Temple as a nun. My heart trembled. Before I could react, Lu Xingzhi burst in, kneeling before the Empress Dowager. Mother, you once said that if your son found a beloved with pure intentions, you would approve. That beloved is Wan Ying. The Empress Dowager's gaze darkened. Rising, she strode to Lu Xingzhi and gave him a sharp slap on the forehead. Foolish. She was once your elder sister-in-law. Do you wish the whole world to laugh at you? Let them laugh. From childhood to this day, I have loved only Wan Ying. His eyes held unwavering resolve. The Empress Dowager turned to me. And you, do you share his foolish notions? I smoothed my skirt and knelt beside Lu Xingzhi. Aunt, is marriage truly that crucial? She paused slightly. I continued. If two people truly love each other, marriage is merely a formality. If they do not, it becomes a shackle. I've experienced it once and been disappointed once. For the rest of my life, I wish to live wholly for myself. The Empress Dowager frowned. Are you saying you have no feelings for Xingzhi? No. He occupies my heart. I cherish this feeling and dare not take the next step lightly. Weinyin cannot enter a convent. My earthly ties remain unresolved. You say he occupies your heart, yet you refuse to marry him. What am I to do with you both? How can I possibly manage this? I knelt at her feet, embraced her, and pleaded softly. Auntie, you once prepared my dowry. Remember that estate beneath the western hills, with the orchard behind it. Weinyin wishes to live there, far from the capital. The past will fade quickly. She sighed softly, glancing at Lu Xingzhi, then at me. Very well. I am old. Your affairs are beyond my control. Lu Xingzhi escorted me to the western hills. By the time we tidied up, the sun had set. Seeing no sign of him leaving, I instructed Lanxiang to prepare the guest quarters. He stormed over, swept me up in his arms, slammed the door shut, and tossed me onto the bed. Song Weinyin, you won't tell me unless I ask. Is that it? Tell me what? What are we doing? What does this mean? His face was flushed, reminding me of the little chubby boy he was when he got angry. I wrapped my arms around his neck. Fine. You win. I kissed his cheek lightly. His face flushed even redder. You. I reached to undo his belt. Brother Xian, I want to have a child with you. Lu Xingzhi stiffened, pinning my wandering hands. We're not married yet. I don't want to marry. I just want to have a child. I pressed my lips against his, my hand brushing the lean muscles of his chest. His voice was strained with restraint. Song Weinyin, your thoughts are dangerous. My heart skipped a beat. Then he added, but I like them. A storm was brewing. A muffled clap of thunder rolled across the horizon. In my 8th month of pregnancy, the palace held a funeral for Lu Xingzhi. No one had expected the Empress Dowager's youngest son to die so young, and that prematurely deceased prince was now lying on my belly, listening to the baby's movements. He laughed like a child. Why is there water sound? I don't know. We'll have to ask the doctor. You're about to give birth. Will you give me a proper status? I chuckled softly. You're practically dead already. How could I give you a proper status? He snorted coldly, slamming his hand down on the table in a huff. I shifted my body, resting my cheek against his chest. You're about to be a father, yet you still get so easily upset. Lu Xingzhi pulled me close. I'd give up imperial power and wealth. All I want is you. You're just using the same old tricks. He pouted. That's not true. Song Weinyin, you're picking on me. I tilted my head to kiss his jaw. Fine. Fine. Well, combine the full moon celebration with our wedding banquet. Okay. He beamed, lifting me into a horizontal carry. I tapped his arms gently, careful of the baby. Song Wenying. I'm starting to regret this. You won't abandon me after having the child, will you? I silenced him with a kiss, stopping his nonsense. Shoo. Don't say that. The doctor said babies can hear inside the womb. He kissed me back. All right. Next time we'll whisper it. Song Wenying. I love you. I have no regrets in this lifetime. The end.